Hey there and welcome, my name is Carlos Bertz and in this video we are discussing if you should have common magic items in your games. And the short answer, at least for me, is yes, you should have, they are great. But let's get on with that because a lot of people just want the first 30 seconds and the answer for their thing, and so like, subscribe, everything, you know how internet works, and let's go on for the long one. Yes. We are talking about common magic items, what these common magic items really represent in a fairly high magic world, because we know how the world from Dungeons and Dragons is not a low magic world. Like, the more that we go with the editions, we see that even more in 5th edition we have a lot of magic items and magic in everything. We had the Christmas effect in the Christmas tree effect, actually, in 3rd edition. And yeah, some people were opposed to that, and one way to come against it from Wizards of the Coast was to cut value, like money, from the equation. But they still have the high magic value from a lot of different magic items. And the common magic items are another proof of that, because although they were introduced in the DMG, the Dungeon Master's Guide, they were not focused and they were not very detailed until you had the Xanathar's Guide to everything on, I guess it was some 3 years after the Dungeon Master's Guide and the official 5th edition to come out. And the description by Chris Perkins himself was that common magic items, they were supposed to be a zero-sum game. And zero-sum game because they mechanically wouldn't benefit anyone, unless with some particular occasions. But these particular occasions, they are normally the occasions that you allow in an official product from Wizards of the Coast, but not in a third party. We know how that works. People are more concerned about balance when they are from third party. We discussed it in another video. But yeah, they are supposed to be this zero-sum game. And in this point of having a very or fairly magic world, we have common magic items or wondrous items to be only available, the only one to be available in the first level to be the common magic item ones. And they are like that because they offer, in a lot of times you will see some stuff like your armor won't get dirty, you have a cape that moves every time, you have a key that will open any lock, but after you open it, it's gone forever. So you have stuff that will in fact give you a mechanical advantage, something that will get you to a higher level of power in the game from the other characters in that same game and that mechanical side. We know how actually challenge rating is not a good way to go, but at the beginning of stuff, people did not know that, and the designers did not know that. They planned to have something that was mechanically viable. But for me, the importance is that zero-sum game. For me, they work as magical trinkets. And you have trinkets, you have a page with 100 trinkets for the game, and they are essentially useless. They do not provide something that is mechanical useful, but they still get you some idea of what your character or what you can do with your character. They make the world feel alive, not just your character, because yeah, you can make it feel alive by itself, you can try it, it can work, but for me it is something that when you can tie it with the world, it makes it better. And that's when you have trinkets to come in. I love making random trinkets, that's why I am biased in the favor of common magic items, because I already love trinkets, and every one of my characters I always ask for the GM to have a trinket that I can make from my character or roll randomly, and I love that, and discover why my character is the way that they are. And with that, you have magical trinkets, trinkets that, although they do not offer a mechanical basis, they offer that flavor. They flesh out the character and that way of thinking about the character. Because when you are in a fairly high magic or medium magic, whatever, how you want to decide about it, is that you will have a trinket, but this trinket also carries this way of thinking about the world. You have this magic that comes from the world, and you have a magical effect. I love, one of my favorites from the Xanatar's Guide is the doll that you can actually teach some phrases, and that the doll will repeat whenever something triggers that, because it doesn't actually help me mechanically in anything, but it allows me to feel more at ease with my character and to make these funny voices or to make it happen and break the tension in the situation. It's a way for me to make my character feel present, alive, and to make the world connect with my character. And then we get to another part of the way of thinking about magic items, because you can think about the kind of way that goes to mechanical advantage and getting some bonuses from that, and that's not wrong. That is something that is really cool. But you have a lot of discussion about magic items in general, and it was something that I got thinking about for this video, but I thought that it would be too long if I focused on that. But it's useful versus status. So you have the usefulness of the item. The item is mechanically beneficial and you can make a lot of that, or they are just the optimal choice for you. And you have status. You have something that if you have a magical item, they will change everything. You can think about the Chronicles of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones, if anyone is familiar with the series. You have some kind of this kind of idea with Valyrian steel, because as far as people know, Valyrian steel is not something that is very much more useful than regular steel, but the ones that have Valyrian steel, they carry a status. They are someone that is important, and it makes you think about how the world has history, because Valyrian steel, they cannot do it anymore. They just get a handful of them, and that's it. So with the common magic items, you can do the same. You can have even very first level characters have some kind of magical item. And how did they come up with that magical item? Why do they have that? How can they use it, and why does that magical item connect them with other characters and the world itself? Because let's face it, if someone has a billowing cape to make a very important and powerful entrance, why do they like that? Why do they use it? If someone is very concerned with being clean, why do they have this armor that will be always clean? And how did they come up with that? Was it a family heirloom? Was that they got all their economies to get it? Because when you do not have material prices to them, you can still think about how you can get them. So you can think in this way of magical items, common magical items specifically, as magical trinkets, something that you can use to flesh out the characters and make them resonate with why they have that, how they use it, and how the characters themselves, they have this idea of how the magic works in the system and in your world. Because let's face it, everyone wants to have something memorable, and sometimes this something memorable is something that does not, even most of the time, it's something that it does not actually get some very good mechanical values, at least for me. And I think that you can think about that as well. And you can come up with some more common magic items that they are not specifically zero-sum games, that they still bring something to the table, and you are not wrong with that. And I believe that's it for the video. I believe that you should have common magical items. You should even get them to your characters at the first level, or even at character creation, because it adds some flavor, at least in my opinion. And that's it. If you like the video, like the video, share, subscribe. You know how internet works. And let me know in the comments if you like common magic items, if you do not like, because actually common magic items can also be used in other systems, not just D&D, because they are very low magic if you consider with some other standards. And I will see you all in my next video. So, see ya! Seriously, use common magic items in your games. It's the best.